Hi there, it's Linda here. Thanks so much for joining me today as I play with these new goodies that have just arrived. I loved this Dotted Swirls Debossing cover die from Altenew, so I'm playing with that for my background today, and then adding this fun image from the Mama Elephant The Wild Raw set over the top. Using some Strathmore Bristol Smooth card as my card front, and just using it here with the Altenew embossing die to get this beautiful effect, which I'm then going to lay my image over the top of once I've cut it out. So adding my ink first of all, so I've got two colours of Distress Oxide here, Salty Ocean and Twisted Citron. So I sort of worked out where these colours will lie behind the Mama Elephant Wild Raw image, and then it's just a matter of blending in the colours with my ink blending tool. Very easy, of course. Distress Oxides are very easy to apply and very forgiving, and of course the colour goes on nice and easily when you use the oxides, more so than the usual distress inks, I find. Just adding a little bit of Lucky Clover around the edge of the green, just to darken it up with a bit of a shadow around the edge. And once I do that, it's a matter of cutting this piece down to suit the size of an Australian card front, because they're a little bit different to the American size. So there's my card front there, or my card base I should say, so I'm just cutting off that little bit on the edge. Now, with a large group of animals like this, you really have to work out what colours you're going to use, and I don't have a heap of Copic markers, but I tend to have three, a light, a medium and a dark, in the colour families that I use the most. So what I'm doing is using just two colours for each animal, mainly for their body. I might choose a pink for the ears, but for the large body parts for each animal, it's two colours. So as you can see, I'll list all the colours up above. For the koala here, I'm using the warm greys, and I'm using the light and the medium in my stash. And then when I do, as I pointed out to you just before, then when I do the Rhino, just above the koala and off to the right there, I'm going to use the darkest warm grey and the medium tone warm grey. So yes, both those animals will be warm greys, but they will look quite different because, as you can see here, I'm using the W6 and the W3, so that will give me much darker warm greys than the little koala, who's quite light. I will do the same with the hippo and the elephant, but I'll be using the cool greys because those colours seem to work well with those particular animals. So the elephant ends up being the cool greys, the lighter version, using my lightest and medium shade, and then for the hippo I use the darkest of my cool greys and the medium tone. So you'll see all the colours listed above when I start colouring each animal. And I'm just using the colourless blender there to remove a bit of ink, and then just a bit of C1 on the rhino's horn, just to add a bit of shading. I do use pinks on their cheeks. I mentioned the R000 or the R20. I'll use one or the other for their cheeks each time, and either 1, 2 or 3 little white gel pen dots on top of those little pink shades. So I haven't shown you all of the colouring. This is a fabulous image. I thoroughly enjoyed colouring it. It was so much fun, and as soon as I saw it, I just could not wait to colour it up and enjoy making some cards with it. I know anyone would love to see these gorgeous little animals all getting on so nicely together. It's just a beautiful picture of unity and happiness, which we can all do with a bit more of in the world. So it was a lot of fun to colour, but I will not show you the whole colouring process, because once you sort of see me colour a couple of the animals, you'll certainly get the idea. I just use the 2 shades and I go around the outside of the animal with the darkest, and then I blend that into the centre using the lighter of the shades. So they're not huge, you know, each animal is about 1 inch by 1 inch, so they're not huge spaces to colour by any means, and that certainly makes the colouring job a lot easier. So you've just seen me colour up the elephant with the cool greys that I told you about, the C greys, and I used C1 and 3 on the elephant, and now I'm using C5 and C3 on the hippo. So they will look quite different, but it's still the same greys, so you don't have to feel like you've got to go out and buy more colours. I mean, I've even seen these animals coloured up in all different colours, greens and yellows and things like that, so they're not necessarily even looking like the real animals. And that's your choice too. You could certainly do that, and I may do that down the track too, just for a bit of fun. Just, you know, make them all a rainbow of colours, which would be beautiful too. So I'll let you just work your way through the colouring with me now on the video, and as I said, all the colours will be listed, so you'll be able to see what I've used in case you've got those same colours in your stash, or you'd like to get them and have them. And whilst I don't show you everything, I do show you probably the main or the larger animals, like the kangaroo and the lion. I particularly show you, and then I'll be back when it's time to construct my card. Here's a nice close-up look for you of all the animals. You can sort of see I tried to balance out the browns and the greys across the card so that I wasn't colouring animals the exact same colours that were beside each other. So just to get an overall balanced look, that's something to consider when you're choosing your colours. So of course there is a die for this stamp, and certainly that makes life a lot easier, but I just like to save my money, spend it on more stamps and fussy cut things when I know I can. So moving on now, I'm using some patterned paper to cut out my sentiment, and then I'm adding that to a foam layer and letting that dry and then pushing out the inner portions. I've added that to the top of my card. I've added foam tape behind the animal's image, a couple of lovely little speech bubbles from the Avery Elle Peekaboo Pet set, and my card is complete. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed my card. Thank you so much for watching, liking and subscribing, and I'll see you again soon.